Hey guys, welcome back to the video. Um, I'm going to be talking about functions in JavaScript because here in the handling array parameters, uh, you kind of have to understand functions first before handling array parameters. So I'm just going to briefly go through what a function is in JavaScript. And there's basically 4 or 5 components that you would need to understand to be able to use a function. And here's an example, return A. Super easy. But you're like, what is all this stuff? What is function? What is return? What's all these brackets? What's these braces? So you need to, the function is what's called a declaration. ABC is the variable name or function name. A is basically the input parameters or input. The braces and the return is basically code execution and the output. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so there's 4 things, and this is basically like 2. But that's it, right? An example would be, let's say, ABC time 2. If I wanted to console log what the equal was, it's pretty straightforward. It'll just be 4, right? So function is a declaration. ABC is the function name. That's how I would call it. A is the input parameters, right? 2, and then basically a return statement. So returns A, which in this case we passed A as 2. So let's replace this A with 2. Go into the code execution. There's the A. Replace it with 2. It'll be 4. So 2 plus 2 equals to 4. I guess the tricky part about understanding functions in the beginning for me was how does this 2 get read here, right? Like, what if I did like ABC, like, what happens there? Just follow it, okay? ABC, and then this, take this, whatever's in these brackets as the parameters. So ABC, there's only 1. Okay, this A, replace it with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. So everything inside of these braces, replace it with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. Right? So that's it. Now, you can have multiple parameters. So you can say like A, B, and then here you could do 2, 4. So because of the way that it's written, it's separated by a comma, and it's inside of these parentheses, that's how it'll get read, right? So this will return 6. And there you go. So what Leetcode's talking about here with array parameters is basically let's go def, symbolize different x, y, z. It doesn't really matter what your function name is. But let's say you want to do an array. And I want to just, let's say, I don't know, like loop through the array. Don't worry too much about the syntax. But all I'm saying is like, okay, take in, so let's do let x equals xyz, then take in an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it should multiply all of it by 2. Oh, it's undefined. Oh, because we didn't return. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't return it because why? Because I think it wasn't in place. So it returned it, it changed it here, but then it didn't change it here. So all I need to do is set new array. So new array dot push. There it is. Yeah. So I just created this function that takes in an array. And all it does is, hey, everything inside of this array, I want you to return it and multiply it by 2. and that's what it did. And that's an example of how to pass an array instead of just a single number here as a parameter.